welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how my views on fitness have changed going through my spiritual awakening. So first off, I want to start by giving you guys a little brief history about my relationship to food and nutrition and to fitness and just health in general. So growing up, I've always been on the bigger side. I wasn't actually fat, but I thought I was fat for a very long time. Honestly, I was just a chubby kid, and because I was a chubby kid growing up in an era where everybody was like the slim tomboyish body was like the main thing that was idolized in media. Growing up in that era, it was really hard for myself and a lot of other people because we got bullied for being fat. And it wasn't just like my peers in school, it was also like my family members who would not necessarily like right out bully me, but it would be them wanting to try to nudge me towards losing weight, which is really harmful. I was taught from a really young age that you had to weigh a certain amount in your age group to be considered healthy, and I just remember family members telling me that I was technically obese because of how much I weighed, and I was like maybe 8 or 9. Like the first time that I ever remember starving myself, I was in kindergarten just because I hated how fat I was, and I wasn't even that big. I was a normal sized kid, but that led to so much disordered eating throughout my youth that it eventually just blossomed into full-blown eating disorders. I had dealt with anorexia, bulimia, binging. The most recent one that I've been struggling with is orthorexia, which is so ingrained in like the fitness community. And so basically orthorexia is like over counting your calories and your macros and abusing exercise. And I'm not saying that everybody in the fitness industry is like that, but I definitely I involved myself heavily in the fitness industry. Well, not necessarily fitness industry, fitness community for years. Like I want to say like 3.5 years I was like fully just committed into this fitness community, and I had realized, I didn't necessarily realize that my eating disorders, like my bulimia and my binging and my anorexia, they've just shifted in forms, and it was now orthorexia, and I was still like overly controlling my food. So I've never really had like a good solid relationship with fitness, even though in the past I've definitely portrayed it that way, because in my head I would see all these other people, especially like I looked up to a lot of other fitness influencers that would talk about sorry, I just lost my train of thought. A lot of fitness influencers would talk about healing their eating disorders through fitness, and I feel like for me, I was masking my eating disorders through fitness. I was like, oh well, I'm healthy, I'm fit, but in reality I was eating 14,000 calories a day, working out 2 to 3 hours a day, practically 6 to 7 days a week. I was actively abusing hard drugs so that I wouldn't have an appetite, and people would do nothing but praise me for my health. They'd be like, wow, you look so healthy, you look so strong. And in reality, my entire body was just crumbling. And I'll show pictures either before this or after this about what I looked like, but it's something that's so deeply ingrained in our culture, honestly, is the idealization of small equaling healthy, and that's what I thought for so long. I do want to talk about my experience with fitness before, and how it did save me in a lot of aspects, because it gave me something to focus on when I was going through an abusive relationship and losing my dad and my best friend with all within the same 2 years. And it gave me something to focus on, and it did spark a lot of joy and a lot of light in my life, because I really like weightlifting, and now I'm getting into like cardiovascular health and all of that, but like it sparked it sparked a love inside of me for fitness and for I want to say motion and movement. It sparked a passion for movement within my body and within my soul that I never had before. And going through that was really important, and I think that I just took it a little too far, but in my, like, I was using it to cope. So I was using the fitness community and diving so deep into obsessive thoughts about myself that I was just using it to distract myself. And it did teach me about nutrition, and it did teach me about feeling strong and feeling powerful and feeling beautiful. And I think that that was a really big part in me being able to leave my abusive relationship, was because I was taking that time out of my day to put effort in myself and to feel strong and to feel beautiful. And that part was really healing for me. But as somebody who struggled my entire life, like I said, my first time that I ever starved myself, I was in kindergarten. I've struggled my entire life with disordered eating and eating disorders, and I just didn't understand how to handle it. And I didn't educate myself, and I was not educated by my family of what healthy looks like, or what growing up, I just was told, well, you should be thinner. Healthy's thinner, and that's all I thought. So I did everything in my power to get thin, and it's just not possible for me. It's something that has almost killed me, trying to get thin, and it's really not worth it for me anymore. And honestly, when I boil down why I have all these problems with my eating habits and working out, and I think it all boils down to me wanting control. And when I don't feel in control, that is what I search for, that's what I grab for. And it's because it's the easiest thing in my life to control. I know exactly what to do to make myself lose weight, because after all these years, I know what to do. It's gonna be torture, and I'm gonna hate it, and it's gonna lead me down a dark path, but I can control it. And that's something that I'm coming to terms with. And I think I'm doing really good, because I'm starting to realize that it really isn't worth my time anymore, because like going through this spiritual awakening, it has really opened my eyes on how my body feels and how I should treat my body with honor, because I am so much more than my body. For so long, I saw my body as the extent of who I am. And by understanding that I am so much more, and by finding out that I'm so much more, it was really, really healing. So then in 2019, I finally found the courage to leave my abusive relationship, and I dove straight into just trying to heal myself. And well, what I thought was trying to heal myself. And growing up, there was always so much emphasis on finding somebody to love you, or finding a relationship that would be long lasting. And I gave myself like 2 to 3 months, after literally like 7 or 8 years of just so much craziness. I gave myself like 2 to 3 months to try to heal myself, maybe 4 max. And I dove right back into dating, and I didn't give myself enough time, or I didn't give myself enough time to rest or to really get to know who I am, because I was just always searching for validation through the male gaze. So I was still just trying to uphold this idea of the perfect body, the most desirable body. And it was really, I was still holding this control, and it was almost like I was afraid to let those parts of me go. And then the pandemic happened, and all the gyms just closed down, and I was out of work. I decided to take some time off of work for like 7 weeks, and so I was just at home, like not alone, but with my grandparents, my mom and my sister. But I had a lot of alone time, and I was just doing a lot of introspection, and I was forced to really be alone with my body, and to be confronted with my body. And by not having that control of going to the gym, I started gaining weight, and I was terrified. So I did pretty much everything that I could to not gain weight, and I lost weight in quarantine in the beginning. And I just was like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm so fit. I'm the epitome of health. And I was so obsessed. I mean, there's still parts of me that I'm so obsessed with, or not that I'm so obsessed with, but there's still parts of me that is obsessed with the way that I look and wanting to be a certain way, or wanting to look a certain way. And I'm working on that every single day. But going through the pandemic, it really did force me into a lot of shadow work, and it gave me a lot of time to be able to research and learn about the things that I'm passionate about. And I dove right back into spirituality and witchcraft, and I started doing a lot of shadow work and a lot of meditation, where I was able to actually remember why I decided to come to Earth. And I went through such an intense spiritual awakening that it made my physical appearance seem really not so important in the long run. And I just started to realize that I'm so much more than my body. I am this vast soul that has so much infinite knowledge and came here to have a human experience and to learn things. And a big part of why I'm coming here is to find who I am. And to be born on Earth is to forget everything that you've ever known as a spirit, as a soul, right? And I came here and I forgot everything that I was. And I was told by so many people that you are this, you are a certain way, you are a female, you are unhealthy because you are fat, you are this, you are that, so many things. And it is my duty to myself, and it's an honor that I get to discover who I am, and I get to spend time with myself and really dissect who I am at my core and who I want to be at my core. And just by going through all of this introspection and realizing that I'm so much more, and remembering parts of who I am even before this lifetime, and just through all of that, it made the way that I look feel very small. And this is obviously just a personal view, because I know how hard it is for people that struggle, and I know that just getting over your body image issues isn't just that easy. Trust me, I know. Trust me, like, I'm still working on it every day. But going through a spiritual awakening, it really made me want to honor my body. It made me want to listen to my body. So that's exactly what I did. Okay, so what changed in my fitness routine since going through a spiritual awakening? Well, I definitely want to say that I'm able to take fitness off of its pedestal, and that's been a really beautiful experience, because I'm able to now realize that there's so much more to life than just being fit and controlling how your body looks. I've stopped calorie counting, which is incredible, because I've pretty much done that my entire life. I don't do body daily check-ins. I don't do body checks anymore. I used to do that every single day, a couple times a day, pretty much every time I'd go into the mirror or go into the bathroom and look in the mirror. So I don't do that anymore. And I'm no longer doing any sort of fitness plan. So whatever my body wants to do is what I want to do. So if I want to go in and I want to do weightlifting, I want to do full body, I want to do arms, legs, just abs and cardio or whatever. Like today I just ran a couple miles, and that was awesome, and it felt so good. And so I honor my body. I am learning to honor my body in all aspects, which means like listening to my hunger cues. I no longer wait for the calorie counter to tell me when I'm hungry and when I'm not hungry. I actually listen to my body, and it's been making me stronger. I ran the fastest mile that I ever have today, and I am at one of my heaviest weights, and that is incredible, because it just shows me that by actually listening to my body, I am becoming healthier, and it doesn't matter what size I am. And I think that's so fucking cool. I am practicing unconditional love and for unconditional love for my body and deconstructing my internalized fat phobia. I'm doing that all the time, and I'm doing a lot of shadow work on my TikTok. It's a wandering soul, just like my YouTube. If you guys don't follow me there, go follow my TikTok. I've been doing a lot of stuff about that. Practicing body neutrality was really important, and just looking at my body for all the amazing things that it does for me every day, and just really honoring and listening to my body. And it's been a really great experience, and I can't wait to see where I am in a few years, because if I just keep getting happier and happier. And I know that I have some times where I'm really sad and I'm really down, but overall I'm the happiest that I've ever been. And that's just comes from healing and doing shadow work and just honoring yourself. Yeah, but thanks for listening. I love you guys so much.